On this video, we're going to show you how to do your hook timing. You need to have your flat screwdriver and your timing device. Notice the Gammill stamped in it. We'll use that as a reference later. To start with, we'll set this aside. This is your throat plate. We're going to take 3 of these screws out and loosen the 4th. Okay, we rotate this around out of the way and tighten that screw to keep it from getting in the way. Alright, we have already in a previous video showed you how to set your needle bar height. It's important that your needle bar is set, your height is set on your needle bar correctly before we do the timing. So you rotate your hand wheel, your front hand wheel clockwise until your needle bar is in the lowest position, just fixing to come up. Put your timing device on with the Gammill stamp facing up. Put it on your needle bar, close the door, slide it all the way to the top. Whenever it bumps against the casting, tighten the thumb screw. This white knob is your thumb screw. Tighten that thumb screw. Rock the hand wheel slightly to make sure that you do have it at the top of the stroke. Rotate that out of the way. Then rotate your hand wheel clockwise again till the needle bar stops. And at that point, your hook point, this is your hook point right here, should be directly behind the needle bar, behind the needle, and there should be no gap in it. And we have a little bit of movement in that, so we're too far away. So to adjust, we take our timing device off, rotate the hand wheel to right there to where you see this black screw. Loosen your first screw and barely bump it back again the shaft so as to hold it tight, just snug on the shaft so it doesn't spin real free whenever we loosen the second. Rotate it around clockwise. Always turn your hand wheel clockwise, your front hand wheel clockwise. Loosen the second screw and see if you can kind of turn it on the shaft while you're holding the hand wheel, and we can. So we rotate our front hand wheel clockwise again until the needle bar is in the lowest position. Put our timing device on, slide it to the top of the needle bar, tighten the thumb screw. Once again, rock it just to watch and see here above that it is not moving up or down any. You'll have a little bit of movement in the hook, which is normal. We're good, so we rotate this out of the way. Turn your front hand wheel clockwise again till the needle bar stops. And then we want to set that hook point to where it is as close to the needle as possible, and the point should be aligned with the left side of this needle. You want the hook point to stop directly behind that, so basically stop the point aligned with the left side of that needle. And a good way to check if you're close enough is push on that needle, see if you have any give in it, and we do not. So we reach through this access port on the right hand side and our screw, and just snug that screw up. Our needle timing device off of the needle bar and rotate it just slightly to see if we're actually hitting the needle, and we are. So we are too close, so we need to make that adjustment back just a hair. That needle the hook point has to pass through the scarf of that needle, just whisper behind it. It cannot touch it. So we'll loosen this just a shade and try to tap it back just a little bit. And we're not deflecting. We were deflecting. When we get it to where we're not deflecting and we're not got any give in that, then we can tighten our screw. And we want to double check our work. We rotate our hand wheel to the lowest position. Put our timing device back on. Flip the little door out. Rotate it around until it stops, and we are right behind the hook point. And no give in the needle. And that's how we set the timing of the sewing hook. Then we take our timing device off, rotate our hand wheel around here so we can snug up both of these screws. Tighten your first one a little bit, go to the second one, snug it up real good, and then go back around to each of them and tighten them up. You want to make sure you have that really tight to hold it on that shaft, because that's what makes your stitch, and if it slips, your timing's off, you won't make a stitch. And if you'll notice, whenever we rotate this around, this race on the hook is what rotates around to make the stitch. Whenever your needle bar bottoms out and it starts to raise slightly, it raises 2.5 millimeters, and your hook point comes up to catch that stitch just below center of that scarf, and it catches that thread right there to make the loop to make the stitch, and that's how your stitch is formed. But we'll rotate that needle bar up. We've got everything tight. We want to replace our needle plate and throat plate. Get your 3 screws that you set aside and start all of them. Rotate your hand wheel and center that needle in that needle plate. You want it centered front to back and your side to side. Let's tighten this one. Make sure we're centered. And then we can tighten the other 3. And that's how you adjust the timing of your sewing hook.